I'm going to be going over the dynamic geometry over here in the bottom right. This is actually pretty easy to understand. Just got to get the concept of it. And it has three different modes. It has no DG, it has restricted DG, and it has full DG. Now I'm going to go through each step and give you a little sample how this works. And basically how it works is it memorizes certain steps that you do. And these steps, when you alter an object, you can later go back to that same step and actually re-edit it, which is pretty handy. So let me just give you a little demonstration. We'll start off in no DG here. Now no DG means it does not memorize any steps that you do. So this is probably for something for beginners. If you're having problems and if you're in a different mode, it's probably because you're not understanding this, so it's probably best for you to go into no DG. But once you get advanced, then you could go ahead and follow along. It would take you no time to understand this. But like I said, no DG memorizes no steps, but it will memorize if the object is subdivided. So when I subdivide it, I want you to look down here in the box or the palette. So I'm going to select and subdivide it 2 times. As you can see, it memorized it. Now I got this little arrow here right next to the lightning bolt. This removes the last step. What was my last step? My last step was I subdivided 2 times. So I'm going to remove my last step, which should put it back in the original state it was. So it sure it did. Now let's go ahead and subdivide that 2 times again. Now this time, instead of removing it, I want to flatten this layer and move onwards. And you can flatten that by selecting this lightning bolt here. Now it's subdivided 2 times and it's going to keep it memorized. So I'll select here. As you can see, it added more polygons. There's actually no way that you can alter this back, but the only way you can get it back is if you just undo it. Alright, now we're going to go to the next step, and we're going to go over the restricted DG. There is certain steps that this memorizes. That's why it's called restricted. This would basically be used with something that has segments and profiles. And let me give you a little demonstration. If I was to select here and here, as you can see, I have 2 control curves on the bottom. And if I select one of these, as you can see, there's a yellow line here at the bottom, which was actually my circle shape or segment, and here is my profile, which can be altered. Alright, now if you look down here in this list here, now this is restricted. It says in the manual that if you get quite a few of these in this list here and try to come back and re-edit something, this does eat up a lot of system resources on your computer. It could slow you down. And the reason why it makes it restricted is because there's certain tools that will collapse this, which in a way could be handy, in a way it can't be, because if for some reason I wanted to go back and edit it and it collapsed it, it's not going to do me any good. But then again, if I didn't know what I was doing, I kept on letting this build up, my system resources are going to get pretty low. So there's a few items. Let's see, I think let's see if I add thickness to it, then I'll just validate it. As you can see, now it collapsed it. Now this is one of the items that will collapse the dynamic geometry when it's under restriction, and there's like fast extrude, boolean, and chamfer will collapse this. Like I said, it will come in handy, and because if you have too many of the dynamic geometry list too long, it's going to eat up your system resources. So this kind of helps you to, if you're kind of new to it, it kind of helps you out of not getting this list built up. But then again, if I wanted to go back and edit it, it's not there because I selected one of the tools up here. And that's when the fold DG is going to come in handy, and I'll explain that here in a second. Alright, I switched over into fold DG mode. This is going to memorize each step that I do, or most of the steps I do. This actually keeps the history of the steps that you do. And there's certain ones that it won't memorize, and here's one of them. If I was to take this ball and kind of squish it, it's not going to memorize it. It usually memorizes it when you take one item, let's say this sphere, and alter it with another item, and that's when it usually keeps the history of it. So we'll go ahead and delete that. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start with this circle here, and I'm going to select another item, which is not a circle. It's going to be the extrude line, and this is going to mean that I got two different items. So I'll select here. Well, first I need to select the curve, of course. Make sure I'm in selected object mode. And then I'm going to make a little profile here. If you look where my cursor's at, there's a little lime green line there. And when I click that, as you can see, I've got two different curves. Now if you click here in the middle sometimes in the dynamic geometry, it just ain't gonna select it. And I don't know if it's with my computer or if it just happens that way, but it usually works best for me if I select here in the hash mark, then it selects. Now remember this bottom one here, let's go ahead and activate the transparency so we can see a little bit better. Now remember, that was the circle. Then I'm going to select up here. That was actually my profile, which I can alter that. We'll just go ahead and switch the transparency back off. But anyway, now let's say I wanted to add some thickness. Well, I'm on the selected curve. I need to make sure I want to add thickness on the object, not on the curve itself. So I'll select here. As you can see over here in the scene tree, it's selected. I have form 1, which I started with, then my my segment and my profile, which are the two curves here. And when I select the thickness tool, keep an eye over here. Remember, we got form 1, curve 0, curve 1. Now we just added another one. There's called form 2. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave the thickness at default and validate it. Now this is going to allow me to go back and still adjust any kind of any area that kept its history. But anyway, I want to go ahead and do some extrusion on this. I want to make sure that this object is selected here, and I'm going to press select the face on it. Now you'll just notice something happened. The object just got selected, and sometimes this can be a little troublesome, so you got to make sure that you might want to have to press back up here again, and we'll just select back here, and I'll double click. Now I've got a couple items. Remember, I got the circle, the profile, the thickness, and then I got the extrusion. I can go back and select any of them. Always best to be in, keep an eye on this area up here. Now remember where our thickness was at? I believe that was in let's see, I think it was in one of these forms here, and sure enough it was in form 2. Now to edit this, if you look up in the properties here, is I got a new icon. When I click that, that is actually the same icon for the thickness. If I click it, this will allow me to go back and edit the thickness on it. And like I said, after a while that you might want to go ahead and don't let this list get too long, because it will eat up your system resources. It depends what kind of machine you got. And every now and then that you'll come up getting some errors about collapsing geometry. And sometimes that usually happens is it will not accept you to go to the next step until you collapse it. And you can usually collapse them by using the lightning bolts here. You can select here, I collapse that whole section, and I collapse that whole section, and I collapse all that. So it's good to every now and then go ahead and collapse the dynamic geometry. But anyway, thank you very much. And like I said, keep an eye up when you're selecting an object, and just keep an eye on what mode you're in, because some things may appear not to work right, and it's probably because you're in the wrong mode. And if you're in the right mode, it'll save you a lot of headaches. Let me Control Z that a couple times to show you one little extra thing. And if you're having a hard time knowing what each one of these are, remember this one was a circle. Let me turn the transparency back on. No, actually it wasn't a circle. That one was a circle. See, that can be a little confusing, so you can actually come up here and type it in. Press enter. Now I know that one was a circle. Go up here, type in profile. I knew that one was a profile. And you can do it so on and so on, which helps you identify them just a little bit better.